Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Real Arsenal Talk with your hosts Stevie and Larry. How are you doing, Stevie? How was your weekend? Welcome to the episode. Not you, the people, I mean. And you as well, of course. How you doing? Oh, he's frozen.
That was quite good, that, wasn't it?
Not a good start. It's not a good start. Made me question myself, goddammit. Well deserved, that's karma.
Yes, I'm okay, Larry. Happy as Larry, as the saying goes, and I was ready to kick some ass with our performance from yesterday, but I've mellowed a touch. Borough won. Obviously, from being from the neck of the woods, both of us, good result for Borough, and I'm okay today. But we will discuss obviously the main topic of Arsenal, and we may touch on a bit of Formula One.
Yeah, I like the way that you put that there as well, about to kick some ass. And if we did this episode yesterday after the match was played, then I think we would have had some very strong words. I'll be honest with you, in the light of day, in hindsight and all that stuff, I don't really care. I don't care about that match yesterday. It was the only positive, which I'm pretty sure we'll touch on a bit later on as well, but the only positive I took from that match, genuinely, I don't know if you were the same, Max Dowman, right? He was the only positive from that match for us, because everything else was so laborious and so fucking lethargic. And I know we're playing Mansfield, so obviously I appreciate that we didn't go there with the sole purpose of destroying the whole soul and, team. But for God's sake, just make it easier on yourself and, just wrap it up. First half, wrap it up. But what we saw was completely the opposite. We would just absolutely, we would let me find the word without getting angry, right? We let Mansfield come to us, basically. Do you know what I mean? I know we're playing at the field, but we let them come to us, and it's like, okay, we had youngsters, but we're such a better team than they are, but we still managed to fuck it up. Obviously, I know we won, so we got through to the next round. That's not what we fucked up, but that performance, I mean, against a Mansfield side like that, what do you make of it, Stevie? Just as an overall, before we dive into it a little bit deeper.
Okay, I don't know whether you want to do this with obviously, because it's not the Premier League, it's not the Champions League. It means not much.
No,
so I was wanting to maybe go, straight into like player ratings and discuss each individual, because I'm not really asked about the setup. I'm not really asked about the thing is the momentum's still going. We're still winning, and we're still in 4 competitions. We're likely to win nothing. In my opinion, at this rate, not being a defeat is negative, but, I just think that the way we're playing is bang awful, but maybe that's the way we're going to win things. I don't know, but yeah, I think how I felt after the game, it doesn't matter, does it? Like you say, we don't know who we're playing in the next round, so it doesn't really matter. All the fact is that we won, but it wasn't convincing. Yeah, Max Dowman, like I say, it's his first game back. I want to talk about him. I won't give away my thoughts on it straight away, but if you want to start sort of, individuals and, go from the back or the front, whichever way you want.
I mean, interestingly, I'm just looking at the sort of formation on Flash Scores, and they've put us down as a 3 at the back and then 5 in midfield, or 5 at the back and then 3 in midfield, wing backs. Now, I don't know how much stock you want to put into the formations from, or lineup, from Flash Scores, but in theory, that's the way that obviously we were meant to be playing, a bit more on the attacking side. Obviously, we had the 3 centre backs. Yeah, I'll use that quotation marks, because Norgard was obviously stepping back as well, filling in that role. So again, depending on what we were doing, but for me, I didn't see any surprises. In terms of the personnel that he picked, I'm surprised that Martinelli and Trossard started at the same time. Obviously, one of them was used more of a wing back, and then the other one was used in his normal position. And again, depending on what we were doing. But yeah, I like the fact that he obviously Arrizabalaga was playing. Kepa de Balaga, he was playing, and
Kepa.
Exactly. And he put is it Marley Salmon or Miley Salmon? Is it Marley Salmon? Yeah, I like that he put him on. He didn't have the best of games, but then again, we're talking about a teenager against fully grown men who know how to play the league. Do you know what I mean? Who have been involved in the league. Are they in the championship? Or is it League One?
League One. 50 places or something below as well.
So I'm saying, like, you know, they are fully, they know how to handle these sort of teenagers who come through, you know, for the bigger teams. So I can't really put too much blame on Marley Salmon, to be honest with you. Probably, I don't want to say not the right game to play in, because it is kind of the right game. You know, it's a lower league opposition. But, you know, you have to take into consideration the physicality of that match as well. And from what I saw, overall, Mansfield, they didn't really care about our well-being, right? I don't know if I'm wrong in seeing that, but there was a lot of tackles that went in. That just were not acceptable. If they were in the Premier League, someone would have been sent off, absolutely no doubt. But obviously, it's the FA Cup. They want to make it a bit more interesting. And on top of that, it is Arsenal against a lower league. They would have loved it. They would have loved it if we were embarrassed, and you know, and if we got embarrassed, and we lost that match, or even a draw. So. Yeah, I think, look, overall, in terms of the personnel picked, I like that Daumann started, I like that Salmon started, and obviously Madueke as well. No real surprises. I mean, did you see any surprises with that, by the way?
No, not really, no. I wasn't aware that Mars Lewis Skelly was banned for this game. What was it, the Portsmouth game or something? Who did we play last? Was it Portsmouth in the FA Cup? So he must have got...
Wigan? No, was that EFL?
EFL was Wigan, wasn't it?
It was Portsmouth,
I think. Okay, yeah, I wasn't, obviously, Miles Lewis-Skelly may have come in and done a decent job wherever he was, left back possibly, or midfield even. Yeah,
it was Wigan, sorry. Quite a lot. Apologies, it was Wigan, by the way. 4-0 against Wigan.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Wigan.
Okay, mate. Yeah. He got sent off, did he? Or was it double yellow? He got sent off?
2 seconds. So in that match, Lewis Skelly, no, it was just one yellow card. I'm guessing that was maybe accumulation. Yeah, accumulation throughout. Because I think the FA Cup, does that take into consideration or take into account the league cards, right?
I don't know. Someone needs to put us right on that. But yeah, we had a very attacking starting 11. I thought we had about 6 attackers, if my memory serves me right. Which the balance didn't seem right to me. I don't know about yourself, but I just thought that we were a bit top heavy, if you know what I mean. I mean, please do that in the league, when we face a lower block or whatever, and just try and scare the opposition, but not against a low opposition with a ploughed field. Anyway, no, I wasn't that surprised. I just thought, we needed to change. Declan Rice, Gabriel, they weren't even in the squad. I don't think even Zubimendi was, to be fair. So they were obviously giving them time off. And I don't even think even if they were playing, it would have made much difference. I know that he changed it later on with Sakashik coming on, and obviously Hincapié and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I expected that lineup personally. I don't know about what your thoughts were with regards to the lineup, whether it was any surprise or not, but I just think that a lot of things played into Mansfield hands. The pitch was like a ploughed field, like I said, and I think Marley Salmon, if he'd been playing at home, I think he would have had probably a better game. The pitch did not help. It was causing all sorts of problems for our build-up play. Obviously, we will talk about individuals, so what are your thoughts?
The only real sort of surprise was that Martinelli and Trossard started at the same time. I just feel like
it was a bit stupid.
Yeah, we don't have enough options for them to start, and God forbid one of them gets injured, then we are pretty much screwed for that side. Which
Trossard did.
Yeah, I mean, you could make an argument that Eze could potentially play at that side, but that's not where he plays his best game. So, yeah, I didn't really care for that, to be honest with you. It's not like Martinelli had a great game. He didn't have a good game at all, really, did he?
No.
And yeah, so it's, for me, I think that miss from a Daumann pass, which Daumann did fucking excellent, by the way. He did brilliantly inside that box. For Martinelli not to put that away was, I don't know. I mean, I think that sort of summed him up, really, didn't it? You can be good in Champions League matches, but unfortunately, the lower leagues or the FA Cups, the domestic cups, we still need to win those, and we still need him to perform. So, Yeah, I don't think it was the right choice to put him on. To be honest, I think either or, both of them just wasted. To be fair, and it's a massive risk as well because, like I said, who the hell are you going to play there if they get injured? We've still got what 8 games to go. It's still a long way, even though it's a short time. It's still a long way to go with one dedicated left winger. Yes, like I said, you can put X, Y, and Z there. You can even put a Havertz there if you want to, or Jesus, but that's not what we need them for. Then you're taking up from another position. So apart from that, I wasn't really surprised. Obviously the keeper, Kepa the keeper, he was a standard, to be honest with you. The only problem I have with that is now, because he's played Arrizabalaga, and depending on the next round and the subsequent rounds coming up, I don't know if that means that he's going to stick with him even in the finals. Because I know in the EFL Cup he's 100% going to, well, let's say 98% he's going to play Kepa in goal. But for the FA Cups, is that a wise thing to do, to sort of take it to the final and keep using him again for these cups? I mean, I'm glad that he is in a way, because obviously that's what we've got him for, and Kepa's been all right for us. But when you get to those sort of to those matches, the semi-finals and the finals, is he the right guy mentally? I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, what the problem I see is, you do make a fair point with regards to the closer it gets to semi-finals and finals. But you've got to look at it this way. I mean, if you think, we will talk about the Brighton game. Was it the Brighton game that we last?
Yes, in the Premier League. Yeah,
we spoke about that yet. When have we?
We did not, but I think we'll wrap up the Mansfield match because again, it was just fresh. But then we'll talk about the Brighton.
Yeah, so we're looking at the Brighton game. Was he feigning an injury when he went down? He said he hurt his shoulder. This is the thing you've got to weigh up, because if we get to the semi-final of the FA Cup, say, and he thinks, right, I want to play Raya, and Raya gets injured, and we've got 8 games in a Premiership. That's Arteta's conundrum in a way, isn't it? So you'd think, well, I don't really want to risk my best keeper for the Champions League and the Premiership when I've got a really, really good keeper that is probably going to do us a job. I don't know. It is a hard conundrum, isn't it? You understand where Arteta is probably thinking, fucking hell, who do I play in goal? I think he's got to give Kepa the opportunity, because it is it's looked on, as well as for me as well, that it's not a priority, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, whereas the other two are. So I think he personally should, and I thought he played okay yesterday. To be fair, he got some decent shots, and he stopped some half decent attempts. Really, I know he obviously conceded that goal, which should he have done better possibly, but overall I thought he did all right considering the back four he had playing with him.
Oh, yeah, I think that's fair. That's a fair point. You've got two sort of competitions where you definitely need to win either or, and then you've got the other two who are obviously just a little bit lower on the things. But if you do win them, then it is still an achievement. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. If he's got a decent keeper like Kepa on the bench, use him. He's done a decent job for us. He was never really a bad keeper. He had maybe some attitude problems when he played for Chelsea, but I think when he's joined us, I think he's sort of been more of a professional, and I think it spoke louder when he went off for Tommy Setford in the last competition.
Was Raya on the bench yesterday, by the way, or was it Setford?
No, it was Setford,
wasn't it?
Yeah, Setford on the bench. I think like you said, Raya, Rice, Zubimendi, I think Odegaard as well. They just obviously,
he was injured though, wasn't he? Odegaard?
Is he still injured? I thought he was. I thought he was making a comeback. Okay, in that case, so yeah, he didn't have the sort of the top brass on the bench. Obviously, he had Saka and I don't know who came on and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of midfield, it was just who it was really in the midfield. And again, see, this is the problem now, that obviously it's all well and good giving Waneri on loan to Marseille, but how much use could we have made of him in this match, for example? Do you know what I mean? Then you could have. They didn't have to use both Trossard and Martinelli. You could use one of them, or you could put Eze on the left, and then you got Waneri in that Odegaard role, or vice versa. But yeah, I think yeah, in terms of overall the lineup, it was what it was. I don't really want to delve too deep into the Mansfield match, to be honest with you. It's just, like I said, a couple of things for me was definitely that performance. It's very Arsenal-like, isn't it? It was a very Arsenal performance, especially in the recent seasons, which I don't know, man. If it was a stronger opposition, like a Chelsea or a Wrexham, for example, I think Wrexham would have put us away. I'll be honest.
Yeah, Wrexham played pretty good yesterday. I didn't watch parts of it. I didn't watch the whole game, but their pitch was 100 times better than Mansfield. So I do think that played into Chelsea's hands. The pitch was better. But no, I think overall, I want to quickly name some players from yesterday's game. And I know the pitch didn't help, but I still think as a professional you should do better. But for me, obviously Jesus was a standout poorest performance, but I didn't think Norgard covered himself too much glory. I thought he was. You might think this is harsh of what I thought about Norgard, but see what you think if I'm being too harsh. I've gone for just one word descriptions here: average, lethargic, poor, passive, weak, unconvincing, and mind elsewhere potentially. Now, I know Jesus and Martinelli and even Mosquera to a degree weren't that good, but when I was watching Norgard play, I just thought, is he a professional? Is he worthy of being in an Arsenal shirt in the Premiership or the Champions League? And I just thought he wouldn't look out of place in like Mansfield's team or someone of that. Sorry?
Or Brentford.
Well, I don't know. There's just something not right about him. I just thought he looked really, really poor, really weak. Like you say, all those words that I've mentioned there. I just don't like his current standard, and whether that's me being too critical because of the team were pretty poor. What's your thoughts on Norgard in particular? I know Jesus, Martinelli, and Mosquera didn't really have the greatest of games, but Norgard in general, what did you think?
I think with Norgard, obviously there's been rumours that he could be leaving at the end of the season, or he's been wanting to leave. And looking at his stats, I'll be honest with you, they do not cover this guy in glory at all. The only good thing about his stats is accurate passes was 61 out of 74, 82%, right? And then everything else, accurate long passes, 1 out of 7, accurate crosses, 0 out of 1. And then his defensive work rate was around the 60% mark. So yeah, absolute below average, really, for what we're after and what we need in times when we don't have Rice and Zubimendi. That is not good enough at all, and it's a bit weird as well, isn't it? Because Norgard was all right for a while, and we kind of liked him when he was coming on. He was sort of finishing out games, but ever since after Christmas, when he has played, like you said, is he professional? Is he treating this as in like, I'm not going to be here anyway, so what's the point of me helping these guys? I don't know. It's a few things that sort of pop up with Norgard, but for me, most importantly, is he's not the right guy to be replacing Rice or Zubimendi. And moving forward, I really hope that if Arteta's going to leave them at home, have one or the other, right? You can't have them both away, because again, they have two very important players, and if we win the league and Champions League, it'll be mostly down to them two, right? Because midfield, well, obviously defense as well, but then it'll be defense and midfield, because attackers have been absolute fucking trash all season. So yeah, I didn't really. Again, it's just, does that speak on Norgard, or does that speak on Arteta, like knowing that this guy is not going to have the best performance, or he's not going to be 100% committed to our cause? Is that up to him, or is that up to Arteta? Like, I don't know. I feel it's a bit of a Mikel situation, no? Oh, you there? Have I lost you? Oh, no. Where were we talking about? I can't remember what we were talking about now. Where were we?
We were talking about shitty Norgard.
Yes, Norgard. Yeah. So I just want to wrap it up on him. I think personally, it seems like a problem from Arteta, to be honest. I get that he needs to rest our two best players. But unfortunately, we're coming up to the ends of these competitions, right? Like, we cannot afford to be leaving Rice and Zubimendi at home on vacation somewhere. It doesn't. We need them. At least leave them on the bench, just on the off chance it goes 2-1 and you're struggling to finish the game.
Yeah, I had a point. Did have a point to make about that, and I do think it's down to Arteta because, I know we bought him as a backup as such, and I know obviously, what's he called? Who went to Villarreal?
Coquelin?
No, he just went last year. Coquelin. He was a good player. Him.
Did we sell a player to Villarreal? Did we really? That's crazy. When did we do that? Did we actually sell a player? That's mad, Steve.
No,
I don't believe
we
you.
didn't sell.
I don't believe you.
We gave them away. I think we paid them to take him. What's he called? Party.
We cannot mention that name on this podcast. All right, we're going to get banned and cancelled.
Well, look. Let's just quickly go over that. Obviously, Party is doing too many parties. Basically, that's why he had to go.
Enjoying himself too much, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, but Party of old, like 2 seasons ago, I would have loved him even better than Zubimendi. Now, if we would have had those three, I think, don't get me wrong, we would have probably been way, further ahead and probably not lost us again with Party and Zubimendi and Rice. But with Norgard, I think it is Arteta's fault because he doesn't play him enough personally, and I think he's either lost interest as such, or he's not playing him enough to maintain his desire and so. There's something that it's Arteta's fault. But is it?
I mean, he celebrated the goals with our players, and he gave a massive fist bump sort of thing. So again, obviously, the things with celebrations and goals, as you know yourself, they are very emotionally charged and they are very in the moment. So I feel like if that was the case and he was going to be on his way out, he probably wouldn't even celebrate that hard, just walked away from it, as we've seen other players do before. And again, I'm not saying I'm a psychologist and, that is not accurate, but it is something that, as an observation, you think if he was really that pissed off, he wouldn't even celebrate with our players. He would have
actor.
Could be a good actor. Again, maybe it's just something that, I've just picked up on and no one else did because it's completely irrelevant. Probably. I'm talking a lot of shit. Probably as well. Probably. But
so just quickly getting back to that point before I forget, I don't know if you remember when Madueke scored. I always look at the psychology of other players and see whether the players are getting pissed off and stuff like that. And Havertz never celebrated. I was watching it. I don't know if you noticed it at all, but he didn't celebrate when Madueke scored. Whether he's not asked about the FA Cup like most people are, it's like fucking hell, it's Mansfield, who gives a shit? I don't care personally if we get knocked out, but I don't know.
Either he's got family members who are Mansfield fans, or he got told from Arteta, please don't celebrate because you will get injured. Okay, let's just minimise any running.
So shit for celebrating against lower league.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the arrogance thing.
Exactly that, and especially from a Kai Havertz who has won a Champions League before, it's not the right guy to be celebrating against Mansfield, mate. But I'm going to go with the theory that he's got family members who support Mansfield, so. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that, really.
Oh, his wife's from Mansfield.
His wife is definitely from Mansfield. Yeah, Linda from Mansfield, absolutely. I've heard her as a caller on TalkSport. Mandy, sorry, yeah, of course it is. Not Linda. Shit, I get her mixed up, man. Who's Linda? That doesn't matter. But yeah, I think with Norgard, just to wrap it up on him, just do a job for us till the end of the season and then discuss your options afterwards. Do you know what I mean? Don't become a saboteur. That's my only concern. Do not become that guy. But yeah, and also I agree with what you're saying. Arteta's not using him as often as we thought he would. And there's been many matches where you can use him, against Spurs, for example, lower league opposition. You could use him there. You could put him in the midfield after he went 3-1,
for example.
Put him in goal. Exactly. No one's going to score. Hell, come on. Richarlison, he's not going to do anything, is he? Or Solanke. We've got Dom Solanke. Who the hell is that guy, bro? It's like saying, we've got Larry from fucking... from Real Arsenal. Yeah, no one who gives a shit. No one knows. But yeah, so that's the way I look at Norgard. But he had to, obviously, he was an option that we had to play in that. So, and look, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about the Mansfield because I want to touch upon the Brighton match a little bit as well. But I was watching some of the highlights back as well, and I feel Mosquera was just weak, wasn't he? Especially that chance at the beginning for them as well. That was just weak from him, man. But even though he's older than Marley Salmon, for example, he still is not used to, or he hasn't faced opposition like that from lower league who are very, very physical.
Correct.
And
Correct.
it showed as well. So it doesn't really matter on age.
Yeah,
it matters on experience in the Premier League or lack of experience in the Premier League. So what is this guy doing? Sorry, mate, 2 seconds. He's just moving around. Please don't wake up.
Where's the miss was?
Oh, dude. He's just dropped his pacifier. Oh, dude.
Where's Mrs.?
Sleep.
Where's Mrs.?
In the bedroom?
Oh, she's asleep.
She's sleeping in the
With
bedroom?
him?
Like, no, he's in his own bed, but... Right. I don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, I think that's the thing with lower leagues. You know, they can be very, very dangerous. You know, their players can be very dangerous. They could be very sort of vindictive. You know, say, oh, you want to fucking win the quadruple? Let me just take out Saka for you, or take out Gyökeres or something. And we almost see it. We almost saw it. And again, against Mansfield, we almost saw that. So. But yeah, anything else that you want to bring up in terms of Mansfield? Anything that sort of caught your eye, whether negative or positive?
I just want you to. I think we'll quickly wrap it up with regards to good, the bad, and the ugly, if you want, and then we'll just quickly move on to Brighton, and then a bit of Formula One if you want to do. Or do you want to do the moment of the week?
We could do the moment of the week, but I think that fits in nicely with the Formula One talks. So we'll just okay. I think we'll do it then. We'll finish up on Arsenal, and we'll touch on the race in Australia this morning. But yeah, I mean, look, in terms of Mansfield, the good, the bad, and the ugly from there. The good has to be Max Daumann. The bad, I don't know the bad, man. But the ugly is definitely the pitch, by the way. The bad, probably I'll give that to Mascara, to be fair, and ugly was definitely the pitch, because that was just fucking terrible. It really was. It was like a fucking war zone, really, wasn't it? So
I'll quickly touch on the. So we had a couple of injuries, didn't we? So the long-haired liability came off, which he can just fuck right back off to Bologna. Him and Tommy Asic can fuck straight off. I've had enough of fucking long-haired twat now. Trossard got injured, didn't he? Whether it's just a precaution. But again, our man Hincapie came on, and again, fantastic, mate. I really am warming to him, and I'm so glad we've got him. And like I say, at the start of this season, I did say he could be the difference for us winning something, whether it's a league, Champions League, or whatever. He was my tip. The bad, I would probably say Martinelli and Mosquera. Jesus.
Ooh, Martinelli, that's a great shot, by the way. That's a good shot.
Yeah. Fucking shite. Mm-hmm. Absolute shite. If you can't even beat a Mansfield defender, what hope have we got, really? Jesus, say no more, he was on a par with Norgard for being really ugly and shit. I don't know what was wrong with him. He was just, every pass was bad, every control.
It's the first match back, right? After a while? Is that right?
I think again, is it Arteta's fault? I thought he could have brought him on against Brighton to give him, 20 minutes or something.
Preparing for this, yeah.
He hasn't played in 2 games, has he? He didn't play the previous game either before. He didn't come on against the Spuds, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
And I think you're right there. If you have a plan that you're going to bring this guy back against Mansfield in the FA Cup, for example, then you definitely need to give him 10-15 minutes in the previous match before that, because again, we're not going to get into match sharpness and fitness, because obviously everyone knows it, but again, I cannot stress this point enough, that we're facing a lower league opposition who are very physical, and who can be very physical, and they were. You're risking injury-prone players in Jesus and Havertz. Do you know what I mean? They are injury-prone. Max Daumann just came back. That was his first match back, and you put him on against Mansfield.
All over, didn't he?
Of course he was getting kicked all over, because how else are you going to handle him? You saw how good he was, how silky he was on the ball, and the movement that he was making. But again, A, he didn't have the team to back him up, and B, they were just kicking the shit out of him. So, it's very difficult for Arteta, or for any manager really, to sort of strike the right balance between the sort of the inexperienced, the players that don't get too much playing time, and obviously the sort of the starting 11. There has to be a combination of both, especially in these matches. Because again, yes, we can laugh out loud at like Port Vale, for example. All it takes is 2 kicks to Saka, or 2 kicks to Daumann, or freaking Gyökeres, or even Rice, for example. That's it, they're out. Okay, and then they've just ruined everything for us. So yeah, there has to be a right balance. I mean, I can't put too much blame on Arteta apart from the whole Norgard thing. It's like, well, if there's been rumours circulating, again, don't know how true they are, so we'll just take it with a pinch of salt. But if they are true and Arteta's listening or he's seen his body language not being right in training, for example, then what is the point of bringing him on? You know, he's not going to add any value to us. You know, at that point, he's just there to be an extra body or to be the 11th player, for example, on the pitch, because we don't have Rice and Zubimendi. So, but yeah, as an overall, I was happy that the team was kind of mixed in terms of experienced and non-experienced players, like young and old. But at the same time, you know, maybe when we go, what was it? I think did we equalise or did they score after we scored the second goal? Was it 1-1 and then 2-1 to us? Can't remember.
We scored first, they equalised.
They equalised and then we're obviously, yeah. So I mean, look, when we're 1-0 and you can clearly see that we're struggling, by the way, because at no point did I ever feel confident that we were going to score a second goal. Like, who the fuck was going to score it? Like, the dead were playing out there. So again, if you're Arteta and you're seeing this, make the changes quicker. And again, I know you left Rice and Zubimendi at home, but why? Have one of them on the bench. You know what I mean? And then you can see the game state in the next matches that we play in the league or Champions League or whatever. They can take a rest. Do you know what I mean? It's what, like, we played now and then we play again on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So we played yesterday, we play again on Wednesday. Plenty of time to give them a break. And I'm not saying play Rice or Zubimendi for the full 90 minutes. Bring Norgard in for the last half an hour, 35 minutes, whatever it is. Make those changes, right? Don't be like, oh, well, it's not black and white, right? It's not like I'm going to either bring him or not bring him. You bring him, right? You leave him in that grey area where it's like, oh, it's 1-1, we're struggling. We need someone who's a bit stronger, who's a bit more creative and who can like sort of take charge of this game. Oh, I have the perfect player in fucking Declan Rice. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't going to run as much as he does in the Premier League against Mansfield. Do you know what I mean? He's got more footballing brain than that. For him to sort of run around like a headless chicken, if you will. You know, he can make things happen, but you know, either way. Because again, when you have that many inexperienced players, like even in Madueke, yes, obviously he's played in the Premier League a long time, but he's not like a Saka equivalent. You know what I mean? Like Saka's got the experience because he's played with the team for a long time and he sort of resonates Arsenal, whereas Madueke being the first season, it's like, do I put too much trust in this guy? And yeah, fair enough, you know, he's played well. I'm not disputing that at all, but again, you need to complement him with an Odegaard, for example. I know he was injured, but I'm saying an Odegaard or a Rice or a Havertz in there. So yeah, in terms of Mansfield, I'm just glad that we won and we didn't get embarrassed. And that was the only thing that was playing through my mind. And obviously that's why I messaged you beforehand. I said, I'm so glad we're not playing Wrexham, because after what I watched, what they did to Chelsea, or what they almost did to Chelsea, I really didn't want that as part of our narrative this season. That would have been rock bottom, like genuine rock bottom. If we lose to a Premier League team, that's fine. You know, but I can live with that. I can kind of live with it because, again, it's a Premier League team. No one's going to be like, oh, you bottled it against the lower league. But yeah, I'm glad, and let's just move on from Mansfield. But please, anything else that you sort of popped up at you? Just
with regards to Dalman, as much as I love him, and you know, I think I've spoke about him in the past about how great I think he could become. I still think there's a flaw in his game. Not a massive flaw, something that obviously, you know, we will probably see it either get drummed out of him by Arteta, but I do think he holds up the ball a bit too long. Now, as much as I think he's a great attacker and he's fearless, he is Kaka-esque. He's not Messi-esque, because that's slightly too much of a higher praise, but very much similar to Kaka. But I do think that he needs to release the ball a bit quicker. There was players that he was surrounded by certain players, and he did have a good game, and it was his first game back for like 3 months, but sometimes it's like heart in mouth type of bit Trossard-y sometimes. He's a lot better than Trossard, but he does hold on to the ball a bit too long, and I just wish if he just releases the ball slightly quicker, he would look absolutely fantastic. He would look like Salah kind of thing. You just know when to pass the ball, and this is the football intelligence, which I'm sure he's got. And even when he was through one-on-one with a goal, you know, I know it was a good save by the keeper, but a Messi type, a Salah would have dinked that over the keeper, because you know that the keeper's going to go to the floor and leave his trailing leg out.
It's the experience, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's the experience.
It is.
And I think, and I don't doubt that he will gain that, and especially under someone like an Arteta, if he just lets him free, which I think he most likely will do, because again, if he wasn't, he would have changed him already. But I think under Arteta, I think he could be very, very good as well, and he can iron out those little kinks. But overall, I mean, what is he, like 16, 17, 16?
16.
Wow. A 16-year-old to play like that against, amidst a bunch of men.
Cloggers.
Yeah, literally. And to find himself in those positions that he did, and even almost assisting Martinelli, if only Martinelli knows how to use his brain. He just had a really brilliant game, and I like your comparison to what the hell was that? To Kaka, yeah. But the only thing is with Kaka, he was a bit taller, wasn't he? He was a bit
he was slightly taller, but I think
almost on the lankier
gangliness.
side.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's that gait, that the way he runs with the ball and fans here this way. But just quickly, I just want to mention Eze. I thought he really played well when he came on. Scored a fantastic rocket, great goal, well taken, and that is what he's capable of. And it needed something like that just to get the game by the scruff of the neck, really, because he is big and he's strong, and that's what we missed. And Jesus never provided that. Trossard didn't. Martinelli didn't. He was the only shining light, and it took something as great as that to actually win the game, which probably was going to go to extra time. But as he stepped up, and I thought he did play well when he came on, and I thought Nkapia did as well.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he did. But at the same time, can you get excited about Eze playing well against Mansfield?
I know what you're saying. I'm not taking anything away from him, because my only thing that I will say in defence of the team was that the pitch, and I've played on billiard ball pitches and I've played on ploughed fields like that, and it does your style, your rhythm, everything that you practice on. Like when you're playing five-side pitch and things like that, it's like billiard ball pitch. All your timing's off, and because you're used to playing on like perfect pitches, and you suddenly go on a ploughed field and a ball bobbles, and you're not used to it. So that's my only excuse for the team, that it was the like you say, the ugly pitch, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and again, just to wrap it up, I think and I don't really blame them if they didn't give 100% on that day. Do you know what I mean? To actually make those endless runs up and down the pitch, because, like you said, with a ploughed field, you're going to break an ankle, right? People walk on uneven surfaces and then break ankles and shit. So imagine running as a professional footballer in sort of the peak of your career to get injured by a bit of mud, essentially. So yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. And again, I don't want this to be like a negative conversation about the team against Mansfield. No, it's just sometimes the performance just worries us a little bit, because we have got very important games to coming up. So look, we'll move on to Brighton, if that's all right. And I think, look, first thing I want to say, I don't want to delve too deep into it, because obviously it's happened and it's been discussed and whatnot, but your favourite goalkeeper, right? Within the first 10 minutes, he almost just ends our season, right? I want to know your opinion on that, right? Because you put it in such a colourful way that I can't do it myself. So please take the floor, Stevie, about your favourite David Raya.
David Raya, what the fuck are you doing? That was my actual words, mate. When I seen him do that, I see it nearly every game. He will make me say that at least once every fucking game. Why does he do it? Why does he play a ball through the middle when there's three players around the player that he is actually passing it to, when he could just play it out wide when there's no trouble? Play it out the other side, no trouble. He will play it in the middle to Zubimendi, to Rice, or whoever the fuck is in the middle, surrounded by three players. It's like, we can all see it. He fucking doesn't, and luckily we got away with it. But my God, what on earth, David?
I'm just watched it back about 15 million times there, just to make sure that I'm not seeing ghosts and shit. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking about that pass, by the way. At the same time, Rice wasn't exactly on it, but then again, if you're passing the ball out, you kind of need to be looking at the player that you're passing. If they're not looking at you, or they're not prepared to receive that pass, then don't fucking make it, right? That is just basic footballing 101, passing 101. Yeah, you're right though. He does every 3 games or every 4 games. He has some dumb arsery. I think I've heard it being called the bozo gene. I don't know if you've heard this before. Like the word, it's an actual thing apparently. Like, you know, right. when the player is good, but then they've got this stupidity in them. They call it the bozo gene apparently. But I think David Raya has 100% has that in his DNA sequence. Because, you know, I don't know whether he does it just to give the Arsenal fans a heart attack or if he is that dumb sometimes. Either way, don't appreciate it. Please make it stop. But yeah, that could have been such a bad start to the match. And obviously, you know, the run-up sort of thing, that could have been such a very, very terrible fucking result for us, like a massive negative impact. But yeah, got away with it.
I don't get it. I really don't get that. Someone needs to have a word with him. I think after that, he stopped doing it. I don't think he did it. I think he didn't remember. But someone needs to sit him down and say, look, never play the ball to the player in the middle because opposition teams are going to get caught out. I mean, if that had been anyone half decent, I mean, I expected him to score personally, but any other half decent player would have put that. Any other striker in the Premiership would have put that in the top corner. Luckily, obviously, Gabriel just got back in time, but we would have been. It would have been a hard game. We still might have won and won it, but it would have been a lot different. I mean, it was fucking painful to watch anyway, but
it was a long watch, wasn't it? It was such a long watch. Yeah, I didn't care for it at all, to be honest. And luckily, you know, my fatherly duties were calling, so I had to step away from the match, like, you know, during the sort of second half. And plus, it was just like my heart. I cannot deal with this right now. Okay, I'm trying to feed my son and trying to show love, but I can't keep screaming at these fucking idiots on the screen. That's literally the feelings that I was having. So, yeah, as most fans were as well. To be fair with you, if you're an Arsenal fan, if you didn't feel like that during that Brighton match, then you need to fucking go out in the cold or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, have yourself an ice bath or something. But
I think that's how we feel with it. Must only be the Premiership, mustn't it? Because I don't really get this feeling in the Champions League, in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. It's purely the Premiership because I know that every little mistake matters. So it's so critical, isn't it? Because you must feel it, and millions around the world will feel this edginess, this nervousness that. If we concede, look, it's not the end of the world if we concede, but any little mistake is kind of scrutinised. But it's only the Premier League, isn't it? It's not. Is it because Man City? Is it the Man City effect? You know, we could maybe coin that phrase and maybe what's it called when you kind of keep that phrase and
like a Man City phobia sort of thing.
The Man City effect.
Yeah, I like it.
Actually patent it.
Yeah, I like it.
What's it called?
You've heard it your first copyright, trademarked it.
Copyright. We'll do it all. Yeah. Should we do it?
We'll see it and we'll TM it. So it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. Right.
Do it.
I don't think the UK has any laws like that. Because I know America does, where you can patent like certain words or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think the UK has those copyright laws, especially for phrases. Either way, you heard it here first. Real Arsenal talk. It's on record now, so you know it's almost as good as trademark,
just
right?
Copyright it, mate.
It's
so
done.
You get off welfare.
It's done. Yeah, we'll sign it up. We'll pay the 200 quid or whatever it is to copyright it.
It's a tenner, mate. 2 years. I'll do.
That's fine. We'll hold it for 2 years, 2 Premier Leagues, and then they can take it back. That's fine. But I like it though. It's a good expression. It is the Man City effect, and even to some extent, even the Liverpool effect from last season as well. You know, I know it wasn't as close with Liverpool.
Yeah, they didn't chase us down though. It's been Man City have chased us down, and Man City chased Liverpool down, didn't they? So,
and they know exactly what they're doing. So, and I was going to say by this point last year, I think we were already second, weren't we? Liverpool were already.
Oh yeah, we were 10 points behind.
Yeah, we're miles away, so I like it, the Man City effect. But yeah, I think that's right. mate. And the problem with the Champions League is that the only time we start feeling that,
isn't it?
The only time we start feeling that is when we're going into the round of 16 quarterfinals. You know, then we start feeling like, oh fuck, we've got Bayern Munich. Remember what happened? Oh, we're playing Barcelona. Remember what happened in 06?
Yeah,
you know,
PSG.
It's 20 years. It's 20 years ago since we played Barcelona in the final, right? I think it was in Paris, wasn't it? Or was it Istanbul? Paris, I think it was, wasn't it?
Paris, yeah.
I think it was Paris, and I'll always remember that. I'll always remember that match. I was in the pub with a few mates, even though I was a bit younger. Yes, I was 15. But I was in a pub. I wasn't drinking. I was drinking cordial. So already cordial. And I remember that. It was terrible because the only Arsenal fan, everyone else was Barcelona because they were against Arsenal. And it gives me nightmares. But again, we start feeling those feelings when we get to these later stages of the competition. Hopefully, by beating Bayern, by beating PSG, Inter, and so on, and Real Madrid, hopefully we can get past that. Barcelona are probably the only team right now that we need to sort of face and beat.
Would that be the semis?
Could be the semis, yeah. Could absolutely be the semis.
We've got a decent-ish pathway to the semis, isn't it? Really?
I think so, yeah. I think it's easier.
You watch Leverkusen knock us out.
Anything could happen, man. It's a Champions League, anything can happen. But this is why it matters for us being first, because it helps in these rounds, but that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. So,
no.
It's just a little bit on the easier side. It could 100% be more difficult than we're anticipating. But so that's the time when we see it in Champions League. But Premier League, it's just nightmares, really. We've had nightmares. We're still having nightmares now as we speak. But Brighton game, so obviously they have that chance right at the beginning. Then Saka does Saka things, which is score a Saka goal really from the left-hand side. Scored a deflection. But it counts as his goal, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yes.
It was a goal.
Yeah. So I think, I'm glad that he stepped up and it was his goal that won us the match. Obviously we didn't know that up until the very end of the match. So we couldn't put too much praise on Saka. I don't know if you were the same as me. I was like, oh, thank God he finally scored, right? And then by the end, it's like, oh, good, it was Saka's goal that really got us through. But that doesn't mean, by the way, people out there listening, that doesn't mean that Saka all of a sudden has become this fucking Messi-like player, right? That's it.
He still had a very, very poor game again. Didn't he? And look, don't get me wrong, he scored. Everyone out there, yes, he won us the 3 points. But his overall game was very, very poor, and I didn't like the fact that he started to celebrate like, oh, me again. That's like your 5th goal all season. Fuck you.
Doing this, bro. No, if I was Arteta, I'd be like, do not celebrate like that. Just go fist bump. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. Because if we'd have went on to draw that or lose that game, you'd look like a proper fucking knob. But his overall game was shit, like it was yesterday when he came on, which we didn't mention. But in general, he's doing the things that I keep saying all the time when we message each other. He's shooting when he shouldn't, and he passes when he.
It doesn't matter. Whatever. It's working now.
Yeah, carry on. Tell me after. Yeah.
What were we saying? Where were we?
So we're talking Saka's
Saka shit, yeah.
Celebration, Saka shit, and mate, he won us a game, but nah.
Yeah, no, it's
still not doing it for me.
It's not a performance where I'm going to walk away from it and think, Saka's back now. No one's ever going to do that. So let's just, and people out there, honestly, you need to really start watching Saka's game, because there's been a lot of praise heaped on him. Like, still, he does this and he's a dangerous player, makes things happen. What does he make happen? He kicks the ball against another player and it goes in. It's an own goal. That's, what I mean? I'm glad that he scored, but that's not what we need from him. That's just something that you'd expect from someone like me or you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, he's not like Lamine Yamal. Exactly. Great. He needs to be producing those type of performances to be compared. I mean, I seen this post the other day and it was the top 20 or top 50 players of the Premiership so far, and Saka was 3rd. I'm like thinking, what the fuck? 3rd? He's not even in the top 50. Why fucking 3rd?
I probably wouldn't even put him in the top, at the very least, at the top 10, to be honest with you. I wouldn't.
No, he's done fuck all.
Yeah, especially the last 2 seasons anyway. He's been injured. All right, fucking get over it. Well, like Erling Haaland was injured a while ago, wasn't he? Wasn't he injured as well? He came back, he scored some goals. But anyway, enough on Saka. And but like you said, he got us the winning goal, and then after that, it was just sort of a very nervy match, wasn't it? A lot of time wasting, a lot of going down, throw-ins again, just taking so long to do anything with the ball. It was just a terrible watch, and sometimes I understand why opposition fans, they hate us for being just freaking boring. But at the same time, we said this about Man City 3 years ago. It's like, but they're just boring to watch. Yeah, but they're winning. That's important. Nothing else matters. If they're winning, it doesn't matter how they did it, they won, right? Unless obviously blatantly cheated, which 115 charges. But so my point is that, yes, it may be boring to watch. It may be very sort of, again, just a laborious task to fucking do, is watch an Arsenal match. As long as we're getting the 3 points and we're just, doing it week in, week out.
A la Mourinho of 2016 or whatever it was. He got it done. It was horrible to watch, wasn't it?
It was
and
terrible.
we're probably the same bracket as them.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible to watch. It really was. But I don't care. If at the end of it we get 2 trophies or 1 trophy, I'm happy with it, right? I don't really care.
100%.
Hopefully it changes, in the upcoming seasons. But right now I just need this season to be the winning one. The rest of them can fuck off until the future arrives. So
we will be remembered, like you say. People say, you won't be remembered. But look, everyone talks about Mourinho's side that when they were boring, parked the bus. Everyone will remember Arsenal if we can go on and do it, that we were the boringest team ever to win it. Who gives a fuck?
It doesn't matter.
It'll just be on there, 25-26 season, Arsenal with Premiership champions.
That's it.
Still a long way to go, but...
Look, I think interesting that you mentioned that as well. We'll start wrapping things up as well. But there's been a couple of stuff out there, at least that I was gonna ask you anyway. I've had it on my list to ask. So first things first, Paul Scholes obviously doing his interview with whoever it was on court, offside or whatever the fuck it is. Who gives a shit. Now, did you hear his comments about obviously
if we win the Premiership, it'll go down as the worst team in history to win it,
and no one deserves it. Yeah. Now, I don't know how he thinks competitions work, right? But even if you're the worst, but you still win, and you're worst, but you're first, you're still winning, right? You're still winning a trophy. I don't understand in his ginger little head, he's been bashed around too many times or something. I don't know what's happened, but genuinely, how could you even think about, logically, how could you even think about saying something like that? Oh, no one deserves to win it. I'm sorry, what? When did this happen? I don't remember the rules of football to be you have to be creative to win, right? Do you remember seeing that? No, I don't remember seeing that at all. And then obviously, there's been instances like Blackburn
as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's what are you talking about? What do you mean no one deserves to win it? Because it's Arsenal. Leicester won it in 15-16. And again, they didn't play massively exciting football. It was just one ball to Jamie Vardy. He runs through. He's quick enough. He scores a goal. End of story. How was that exciting, right?
I think
because we're utilising the corners and the throw-ins to the full extent of the football law. I honestly, for me, he needs to shut his fucking mouth.
Everyone's coming out saying, I don't know if you've seen the Gary Neville interview about 4 years ago when he mentions, I think it might have been when we played Brentford when they first got promoted, and it was the first game on Sky. I don't know if you've seen the interview, and basically
the one we lost, wasn't it?
We lost, I think it was 2-0, wasn't it? And he said, you come to a place like this, and this is the Premiership, and Arsenal got bullied tonight and they've lost it. And this is the problem with Arsenal. They play lovely ticky-tacky football, but they get bullied. And I'm thinking, you fast forward that 4 years and everyone's slating Arsenal for being rough and physical and affecting the defenders and roughing them up and causing the opposition to score on goals. It's so, what's the word? It's so contradictory
hypocritical.
And pop calling the kettle black kind of thing. When we were doing it was against us 3 or 4 years ago, and everyone criticised us for being a light underbelly as such.
Weak,
and now we've gone completely opposite, and we don't play attractive football, yet we're getting the job done, and we're top of the league and top of the Champions League and top of this and fuck you, fuck everyone. And I don't care. Like Alan Shearer was right. If we win, no fuck. We're going to put 2 fingers up to every fucker that slayed us.
Oh, absolutely. I think that podcast, that episode, hopefully, if it happens, it's going to literally be a lot of F-bombs, a lot of cursing people out, calling people out, and tagging a lot of people as well in posts with clips, cursing them out.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that, people out there. By the way, if you're an Arsenal fan, be prepared for that fun. If you're not an Arsenal fan, well, why are you listening to this? If you're a Tottenham fan, you shouldn't even be listening to a Premier League podcast. Go away.
Tottenham fans, Tottenham.
Go to bed.
Championship team, Tottenham.
Championship team.
Please get.
There was that interview with Jack Wilshere, wasn't it, about him managing Luton in the Championship, and then they asked about, how does it feel to potentially face Tottenham, and the smile on his face was just unbelievable. Well, I do have a lot of Tottenham fans as family members. Okay. They hate you right now, Jack. They hate you. You made the right choice. But sorry. And the other person was Ruud Gullit, right? Ruud Gullit.
Quality player.
Brilliant player. I don't agree with what he's saying about he's stopping watching football because he's watched Arsenal versus Chelsea and football's gone and all this stuff.
Didn't just quickly the other guy played for Man City, Yaya Toure, didn't he say as well? They've all come out of the woodwork. They've all come out and slated it.
It's funny, especially from Man City players saying it. It's like, guys, you literally have an asterisk against all of your Premier League titles so far. Like, you've got an asterisk next to it. Oh, they won, but 115 charges, 116 charges. Whether something happens or not, it's irrelevant for this episode. But so yeah, I think I don't care how much of a legend Ruud Gullit is or Paul Scholes is. I don't really care about their opinion. I think their opinion is absolutely trash, and it's very because Ruud Gullit, did he play for Chelsea? If I'm not mistaken,
he did.
He played for Chelsea. Funny that he's coming out and say that. Yaya Toure, didn't he play for the opposition, which is Man City? Yes, he did. He did do that. Paul Scholes, didn't he have massive fucking bullshit against Arsenal throughout his whole career? Yes, I believe he did. So does that mean we're going to take these guys' opinions to heart? No, we're not going to take it to heart. So they can all absolutely go and fuck themselves, or they can go literally fuck themselves with each other. You know what I mean? Have a threesome. I don't give a fuck. Go away. I just want to win the league, and I can't wait until that. And we're going to change the profile picture of the podcast to a middle finger that says skulls in the middle of it. But yeah. So sorry, with the Brighton, we'll just obviously wrap it up real quick. Performance wise, it's
dog shit.
Oh my god! Can we just stop mentioning the word performance from now until the end of the season? I think we promised that on the last episode.
What we'll do is we'll do a brief 5-minute discussion on how many games we've actually played dog shit and how many times we've played actually enthralling football. Maybe 5 times we've played enthralling football. I think the rest have been absolute dog shit, haven't they? In the league.
Yeah, that Newcastle match. That was a good performance from us. I think that was
Villa.
The first. Yeah, Villa in December.
Leeds away.
Yeah, you can add Leeds.
We did all right.
Yeah,
Leeds at home.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was going to say I'm like the bigger teams, for example, but like the teams that matters, Chelsea, obviously, did we draw against them?
We drew, and took 4 points off them.
Yeah, okay.
Beat them at home, draw away.
City, obviously, we drew against those bastards. Liverpool, we've drawn twice against them. So these are the matches that
we lost the first game.
We did. Yes, Soboslai, of course. So these are the matches that I want. Man United, yes, we won 1-0 the first time, but we got beat the second time. So these are the matches that I would brag about. You know what I mean, in terms of performance, like Newcastle, for example, and then Aston Villa, because obviously they were good at that sort of time in the season. But everything else, man. It's just been touch and go, really, hasn't it?
Dire, hasn't it?
Yeah, dire. And we're not talking about Danny Dyer here, so we're talking just
Kieran.
Kieran, yeah, fuck them. Both Tottenham fans, right? Both Tottenham players. Kieran Dyer.
Kieran was Newcastle, wasn't he? He wasn't a bad player, actually.
Did he not play for Tottenham?
Kieran, he was a good player though. He played for Newcastle.
Fucking Kieran Dyer. But yeah, so I think I don't really care about performances, just need to get the 1-0s, but obviously we have to discuss performances because otherwise there's just be a very short podcast where it's like, yep, we won, let's move on, right? 3 minutes each. I think the outro would actually take longer than the conversation. So. Not yet, because you'll trigger the music early. All right, don't do it. But yeah, look, in terms of Brighton, anything else that you want to add before we quickly wrap it up?
I mean, we could spend a long time discussing obviously the German cant.
Yeah, okay. Since you brought it up, I think his comments were again someone who was very bitter and very disappointed in his own team. And there were stats that came out afterwards that showed that his keeper Verbruggen is actually second for time wasting, right under. Is it Jens Lamens or something?
Lemons for Man U.
Yeah, lemon twist, whatever his name is. He was top for that, and then Verbruggen was second. So it's like it hurts a lot, really.
Yeah, I've seen another stat. I can't really remember it exactly, but I think we aren't I think there was something like that. He was saying the ball's only played 50 minutes, and everyone else is like 60 minutes. But I think his stats were particularly right. I think we were about 54, 55. Mm-hmm. We aren't the worst. I think it's Sunderland or someone else. I think there's about 3 or 4 other teams. So just get your facts right. But it was very sour, bitter.
It was, yeah.
Immature. He's only 34, to be fair, and I think obviously he is pissed off the fact that we did play shit, and I can kind of see where he's coming from, but you don't say it in public. You just keep it to yourself. You say maybe an indirect reference to our time wasting or whatever, which, you know, it wasn't, but so fuck, we won and who cares? And that's all I want to say.
He kind of had a point about the time wasting, but again, not the right messenger to deliver it. Do you know what I mean? And that was the problem. And yeah, he's 34, but they take this as a humbling experience. You know, you look at Arteta and you think, okay, he's not that much older than me, and I'm gonna learn off him. Like, as in, just take some of the good bits from him. And the good thing with Arteta is that he never gives anything away in interviews, and he's very sort of like very diplomatic. Apart from when it came to Hurtsler, apart from when it came to Hurtsler, and he was like, no surprise.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised that. Yeah, pretty much. He was like, I don't really give a fuck, but I'm not surprised. What do you think? So, yeah, I didn't mind him as a manager, to be honest. Again, his age as well, and it's like, dude, this is your learning curve now, okay? Because the way that you're coming out, unless you're a Mourinho or a Wenger or a freaking Alex Ferguson, right? You can talk however way you want. Unless you're one of them, you need to really just, again, take it on the chin. Be like, yeah, we didn't appreciate, or again, probably better worded, we didn't really appreciate the ball being out of play for that long. But hey, we'll learn from next time. But don't be directly attacking, well, they didn't play football, and this is why Nkapia told him to shush. Right, that was hilarious. It was like,
it was good.
So good. Yeah. And again, it's because, well, you're almost the same age. So please, okay, just again, honestly, for Hurtsler, he'll have a bright future, but he needs to take that Arsenal loss as a learning curve, as a learning experience, because otherwise he's just going to get really pissed off with every other team that's going to play him, and they know how to push his buttons now. Do you know what I mean? Just keep the ball out of play for a little bit longer, for like 10 seconds longer.
Spoil the game. Yeah, exactly. Slow it down. He's a good manager. I do rate him. I think he could be potentially, if he got the right job, you think he might do all right somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well.
You know, he needs to learn.
Yeah, I can see him, honestly, even if Brighton get rid of him, I can see him sort of taking a championship side and bringing them up like a Norwich or something like that. You know, something random.
I think he'd get a decent. I think he could even potentially go somewhere like the Villa or Everton. I think he's got
Everton's a good shout. Villa's a good shout.
Yeah.
Emery's obviously, you know, he's still bitter about struggling. Yeah, he's struggling, and I think who did they lose against in the EFL Cup? Some random team, and he still didn't shake the guy's hand. That was hilarious.
What a fanny! That just showed his true colours, didn't it? He's just a horrible who's he?
What a
who was it against? I can't remember. Was it a Premiership team?
Was it a Premiership team? I thought it was the EFL Cup or some shit. Was it? Not EFL, FA Cup or something.
No, it was FA Cup, wasn't it? Against.
Who did they play? Right, hold on a second. Let me just take a quick
look. My phone, I can't check.
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just take a quick look. I will do it right now. Aston Villa results. So
Everton.
They played in the FA Cup. Oh no, it was Newcastle. Oh no, it must have been Wolves. It was Wolves, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, Everton. Wolves?
No, it wasn't Everton, because again that would have been massive against David Moyes, but I think it was against Wolves.
No,
I think it was against Wolves.
Can you not see Saturday's results?
Was it just recently, was it?
No, Wolves played Liverpool.
No, I'm saying, so this is on the 27th of Feb. Wolves, Aston Villa. This was like a couple of weeks ago. No, it wasn't this weekend. It was a couple of weeks ago. But I know it was a lower league team. I'm pretty sure it was Wolves, because they lost that match.
I know they got beat 2-0 off. Yeah, they lost 2-0.
It was Wolves. It was Wolves. But there you go. I mean, yeah, you're right. It showed his true colours. And I've said this for the last 2 seasons. Aston Villa, they start off very good, very brightly, but then they'll fizzle out, and they have done, because it's the manager who doesn't have, I don't know, the mental strength in the Premier League. But look, anything else you want to add on Brighton before we move on?
Just man of the match, would you say? I'll probably think Gabriel.
Right.
I mean, you probably can't remember, but Raya. No, I think Gabriel. I think he had a great game. I think he was head and shoulders man of the match. Obviously, he stopped the goal from what was it, Boema or something, or Boomer or something? I can't remember his name. And he did a great tackle on Mitoma when he was through on goal. Yes. I thought he really stood out for me. Rice played okay. I think that was the first time when I watched it that Rice looked, you know, when I was on about the intensity, when it's like their life depends on it, and it's like the last game of the season to win the league. I think Rice got involved in a couple of tackles that on the edge of our back. You probably can't remember it, but he got involved in a couple of tackles, and he really put his body, on the line. And I thought, well done, mate. That's how all the players should play every game against every opposition to make sure we win every game or not lose and keep ahead of the Man City juggernaut.
It's almost as if he's captain material, some would say. Right?
Again, mate, this captain fucking malarkey, this could be it's so obvious that Saka.
He's not the guy.
Come on, how many captains do like that?
He's not the guy.
Look at me, I'm fucking mint. I'm scoring goals, I'm fucking on 300 grand a week. No, you be sensible, you Odegaard, you weak-minded. In fact, I don't want Saka ever to be captain. I want Odegaard to come back because I think Odegaard's more mature and he's funny about.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's 100% got to be Rice or Gabriel. It should be Rice captain, Gabriel vice captain. And if they're not playing, then whoever it is.
Yeah.
But no way Saka or Odegaard again.
No, I agree with you. I strongly agree with you actually on that one. Right, I'll tell you what, we'll just quickly on F1, we won't spend too long because obviously first race of the season, I know you have to be away as well.
This is the moment of the week for all you Gaylords.
Yes, moment of the week for me was yet again Ferrari, brand new season, 2026, new rules, new cars, all that type of stuff. They've been great during testing, practice, qualifying, practice. And then we come to what actually matters, which is qualifying and the race. Great start from Charlie. I was watching this morning, like again, I watched the replay sort of thing of the full race. Unbelievable. I was feeding my son, I was watching it, and I was like, come on, you wankers, come on. And then obviously, Ferrari do what Ferrari do, and they are 100% their worst enemies when it comes to strategies, because they had 3 occasions with the VSC out, 3 occasions they could have pitted either or both, even though Lewis was like, don't stack me. And again, there was no reason to double stack because there was plenty of VSCs to go around. And again, they made the wrong choice. They made the worst choices that anyone could make. And the thing is, when you're a fan and you're not part of Formula One, right, as a professional, on any team, and you can 100% see what was about to happen, and it's like, how are you not pitting these drivers right now? And then on the second VSC, I think it was the lap when they were thinking about bringing him in, pit lane closed. And that was just karma going, oh, okay, you didn't want to take advantage of that shit. Okay, cool, because Mercedes did with both cars, so we're just going to let them win. Is that all right? Yeah, it's cool. And that was all she wrote. Literally, that was all she wrote. After that, after their stint of in the pits for Ferrari, that was it. They couldn't even come close. And I think at the end, it was like 9 seconds behind or some shit, or 12 seconds or whatever it was from Leclerc. So it was freaking terrible. That for me is the moment of the week. I know it's a terrible negative moment, but that 100% has to top it off. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I watched it this morning. I didn't watch it live because it was like 6 o'clock or something this morning, wasn't it? I think it was weird. I purposely didn't look at my phone just as I didn't see the results. And yeah, at the start, like you say, Charlie was great off the line. He was amazing, and I think Lewis actually got up to second at one point, but he actually sort of dropped back, and I think he went to about 5th, and then he on the same lap he got right up to 4th, I think it was, or 3rd. But yeah, I mean, the moment of the weekend is obviously Ferrari's inability to listen to a 7-time world champion, like you say, and if that was Max or Schumacher or even probably Alonso, to be fair, just someone with a bit of authority. I know Lewis was trying to get his point across, and you could sense it in his voice that he wanted them to pit him. He should have the authority, and they should have the intelligence and the understanding that someone who's a 7-time world champion knows when the time's right to pit, and there shouldn't be this arrogance, oh look, we're Ferrari, we do our way, blah, blah, blah. That's proven that cost him a podium at least, or even a 1-2 again, because they were potentially could have been way ahead, because obviously he had to stop, and effectively Mercedes were virtually a full. I mean, they did get 20 seconds. I mean, there were 20 seconds, wasn't it, for a pit stop? So they did gain 10 seconds, but it was too late, too little, too late. And if I was Lewis Hamilton, I'd be in there with my manager saying, look, if you don't listen to me, and if I get it wrong, I'll listen to you the next time. But now we've got it wrong this time. The next time you need to listen to me. And even Charlie probably sit and get together and say, look, Do you think he's got it wrong as a team? They'll sit down and discuss it and think you got this wrong. Are you going to listen to us in the future? Because they're the ones out on the track. They're the ones feeling it. I don't know. I just think that if they don't learn this year, I mean, I do think Lewis will be off. But it was such an opportunity for them to win the first Grand Prix in a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it was. What are your thoughts on the race itself? I mean, did you like the amount of times it could overtake? Did you like that, or do you think it was a bit boring?
No, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And again, that battle that George had with Charlie, sort of at the beginning of the stint, it was brilliant, man.
I thought it was good, but then I got a bit bored the fact that one wasn't staying in front.
This is the problem that Ferrari were always going to have, because it's been said that they can overtake, but the question is, can they stay in front? And it showed that they really can't stay in front for too long anyway. And I think when Charlie sort of took over, I think the second time round, George sort of dropped back. It was like, do you know what? I don't need to battle them right now. He was right, because in his head, he was like, well, strategy's going to come into play. They're going to fuck it up. We're going to do well, and I'm going to win anyway. So I don't need to actually race this guy. But I thought as an overall race, I thought it was really good. Audi kind of impressed me with Bortoletto. I thought it was really good. Cadillac were a bit disappointing. I think they had Bottas out, and Perez sort of finished near the bottom. But honorary
McLaren
mentions.
Were a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I was just about to say honorary mentions on moment of the week for me. There's two. There's
Piastri.
There's Piastri crashing in
I didn't even see that
formation. It was before the formation lap.
Yeah, I didn't see even. I was like, "Where's Piastri?" Yeah. And I looked, and then when it went back to the start, it showed you like his position on the grid was empty. I'm thinking, well, what happened? I didn't see it till the end of how he went out. It was on the formation lap.
So it was back in turn. It was just coming out of turn 3 or 4, and then he hit the curb, and then the car just sort of like the back end just slid off and into the barriers. So that was honorary mention of moment of the week 1, and then number 2, probably Max Verstappen crashing in Q1. I thought that was so uncharacteristic for Max, like, and from turn 1 as well. You think.
Problem with the car though, was it?
Yeah, so
driver error.
No, so he said the rear axle locked up on him. So when he was trying to make the turn, he just couldn't make the turn, and it just locked up on him. And obviously he went off. And yeah, I mean, the last time I saw Max go off like that was probably Silverstone 2021.
Well, yeah, against
him and Hamilton. Yeah. That was probably the last time I saw Max go off like that. But yeah, because there was no one else around him, and it wasn't even a forced error, and that's why you think, oh, damn, I mean, 4-time world champion here, like, doing this. But yeah, so those are my sort of 2 honorary mentions for moment of the week. But I have to go with
Piastri. Was he 5th, by the way? Did he qualify 5th?
Let me take a quick look, my friend. 1 second, please. Let me take a look at the qualifying.
Yeah, he wasn't he? Was he 5th and Norris 6th and 7th?
Qualifying, here we go. So qualifying, Piastri was 5th, Leclerc was 4th, Hadjar 3rd, Antonelli and Russell 2 and 1. But yeah, McLaren were very disappointed, by the way. Like, I think it's they've got a Mercedes engine, haven't they? So it's not even a Honda engine, or is it a Honda engine?
I think what they were saying that the power units are favoured McLaren, not McLaren's, the favoured Mercedes, and
Mercedes. Yeah,
it'll obviously change, and Ferraris could be better in the Chinese, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
so I think overall it bodes quite well if they get the strategies right for Ferrari. It's just can they get it right? Is it are they going to listen to the drivers?
Is it a task that they can actually achieve? I don't think it is, but only time will tell. But again, it kind of feels like Arsenal, and I think the question that I asked you is like, why do we support these teams? By the way, like, why?
Yes.
I asked my dad the same thing today, like whilst I was on the phone to him, and I was like, Dad, why didn't you stop me from A, picking Arsenal, and B, picking Ferrari? He was like, well, Arsenal, you chose that yourself. And he said, B, well, Schumacher was winning for Ferrari when you were watching it. So. Yeah,
I know.
I was like, all right, that's
we're living in like a sort of a parallel universe.
Right. What is going on, man?
Why can't we actually support City and...
Literally, I said to him, City or Red Bull. I said, why can I not support any of these? And he was like, well, City, no one knew about City when we moved here. So I was like, yeah, that's a fair point, actually. He made some very good points, to be fair, as a mature guy that he is. But yeah, I think, so this will be, next year will be 20 years. If Ferrari don't win anything, it'll be 20 years since they've won anything. So there you go. Wow. Right, Stevie. Right, I know we said half an hour, 45 minutes, but here we are now at 20. Is there anything else you want to add before we leave?
I just want to add... Prediction for the Wednesday night, sir? The Dodge, Sparkle the Joyce and should have gone FIFA League.
We're playing away, are we? First match? Or was that home?
Yes, we're playing away all the time.
Okay. So I'm going to go with... first thing that popped into my head, by the way, was a draw.
Ooh.
Yeah, first thing in my head was a 1-1 draw.
Ooh.
That's it. I said it. What about you?
If we play as bad as we have played our last few away games, I can see us getting beat. However, the European teams, I think I mentioned this before, that in Europe, teams play very open against us. I know we were top of the league and, you know, that means nothing, but I think teams tend to think that they're better than what they are, and they think to themselves, "Oh, I'm not gonna sit backward at home and go and entertain our fans like most home teams do." So it's probably going to be a really entertaining game, but I think we could beat them. I think it'll play in our hands. So I'm going to say 3-1 to us.
Whoa! Boom! Damn, that's some machine gun fire right there. That's what that is. That's some heavy artillery right there from the gunners. Okay, that's I can see it. I'll tell you what then. We will obviously wait and see, and we'll be back at some point during the week and send it out, Stevie.
Au revoir. Oui, oui. DC, arrivederci. Goodbye.
Stay safe, stay alert. Love it.